my name's Kiera. I go to Brookfield School. A few weeks ago I went to the cinema with my best friend to watch The Croods and I really loved it. What was your favourite growing up film and why?
I remember watching films on telly. There'd be a film every Saturday morning, I think, for kids. I did, when I knew I was coming in to talk to the school, I did have a good think about which films I really liked. And there was this one called The Court Jester with Danny Kaye, which was a very funny film. But you're talking about going to the cinema, really. I don't remember going to cinema much, except for we went to see this film called The Ten Commandments, which was about Moses and going out of Egypt and the plagues and and it was in Technicolor and it was like, there was miracles in it. It was, you know, I mean, there were obviously special effects in those days, but I suppose because I didn't go to the cinema much, I just thought, wow. You know, it's like, there was Moses, and there was a plague of frogs, and, you know, it was, so I remember that was a real feeling of, well, cinema's a bit exciting, isn't it?
I thought you were really funny in Horrid Henry. Is it really hard being funny all the time, or are you secretly grumpy when you're off camera?
Not so secretly grumpy. I think, well, if you ask my family whether I'm funny all the time or grumpy, they'll probably say grumpy. But I suppose it is, you know, it is different when you're performing to be funny. You know, you've got to be funny. But then when you're off stage or off camera, you're just like a normal person. So sometimes you're a laugh, and sometimes you're grumpy, and sometimes you're in a bad mood, sometimes you're in a good mood. So yeah, I think it would. I sometimes see people who are on telly and they're up and happy and funny the whole time, and I think, well, that must be tiring. It must, you know, there's times where you feel grumpy, aren't there? And you just want to be grumpy. So I think I'm a bit like that sometimes.
How did it feel talking to me and all my friends, and do you think it's important for us to watch and talk about films?
Yeah, I was really keen to do this because, like I said, I only saw, I didn't see many films, didn't go to cinema that often when I was your age, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to think about films. I sometimes think that, you know, I might, because I write films and I direct as well, and I sometimes think if I had started thinking about films, like, because I understand that you write reviews and stuff like that, or interviewing people, if I'd started earlier, I think I'd be a lot better at it, just because you start thinking about what you like. You know, when you write a review, you have to say why you like something. You can't just say, yeah, it was good, full stop, here's my review. So I think it's great. It's great that you get to see people who, you know, are in the industry as well, and I think so. It's amazing. I wish I had it when I was your age.
I love singing, dancing and acting, and when I grow up I can't wait to be a teacher or a performer. What did you want to be when you were younger, and do you have any advice for me as a young person?
I think at your age I still wanted to be a doctor, but I hated blood. I didn't like blood, so that was over. But then, so by the time I was 12, 13, 14, then I wanted to be a performer. So my advice is, I think, just go for it. You know, I mean, it's all that, like, follow your dreams. You know, it's all that sort of showbiz stuff. But I think it's hard to make it as a performer, and it's easy to go, oh, it's too hard. I'll just do something else, which is, okay, it's not what I want to do, but I can still have a laugh with my friends and stuff. I think you've got to try. You've got to try. If you love singing and dancing and performing, go for it. Maybe it won't work, and that won't be a reflection on your talents. Sometimes the business is like that. It's luck as well. But at least you'll have gone for it, so go for it. That's what I say.
If you could play any part in any film, what would you be and why?
It's a good question. I mean, I know the sort of film that I'd like to be in is, and I've done a couple of them, because I always play idiots and play comedy films. I'd like to be in a big action movie. I'd like to be, I'd like to be a superstar. I'd like to be Iron Man, or I'd like to do the old, I like to do all that, which I will never get cast at, especially at my age. Geriatric man. But I think to do a real action, be an action movie hero that would be great, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That's it. Thank you for answering all my questions. I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you. Thanks. Good questions. Hurrah.